Welcome to this webinar. Today we are going to present Produmex Scan to show you how we can automate the SAP Business One inventory transactions. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Erika Garcia, and I am in the enablement team for Boyum IT for Produmex Scan and Produmex WMS. Okay, so we are going to start. First of all, why Produmex Scan? Because we know the inventory main problems that we have in our warehouses, and that sometimes lead us to other problems about high data errors, and that we don't have the data captured online, and the decision making and the corrective action are delayed. Also, we have intensive use in resources and paperwork. Obviously, this sometimes impacts negatively in our business profits and, of course, in the customer service level, because sometimes we have these problems and we wrongly shipped products to our customers. But with Produmex Scan, we get benefits about having the complete traceability and audit trail for all our business processes. We remove business process waste and increase efficiency, and also we increase the speed of transactions by capturing the data at the source. We move from manual and offline systems to having real-time and online applications that it's in that moment communicating to SAP Business One, and all our transactions are being posted in our database. So that is helping us a lot to have a healthy inventory in our warehouses, and not waiting until the user can come to his computer and input all this information that it's getting from the warehouse operations. Also, we decrease these errors that we have when we ship the products to our customer levels, and reduce the paperwork and all this data that might all these data errors that might happen between, like I said, between the user goes the users go to their computer and start input the information on SAP. Because in that moment, we are decreasing this effort of input these transactions, and also we decrease the effort for other operations like picking and making the deliveries to our customers. So customers who need a solution fully integrated with SAP Business One are our ideal customers, because this application is available on SQL version and HANA, and supports SAP Business One transactions, inventory transactions, bin locations, picking and packing. Also, the current customers that need to increase this SAP functionality and to increase their speed working in their warehouses, because we execute inventory transactions in SAP through using a scanner. So having a scanner with Produmex Scan is like having SAP Business One in a mobile device. Also, is application really easy to implement and give support, and we have it like multi-continent and multi-language deployment. Okay, so let's go to the functions and the features for Produmex Scan. Like I told you, we support all the inventory transactions in SAP Business One. We support the warehouse, bin locations, unit of measure groups, and also the SAP functionality about branches. In the case that for all the transactions in SAP Business One, we have the purchasing transactions, the goods receipt PO, sales order, pick list, deliveries, and sales returns. Also, we support the inventory transfers and inventory transfer requests. that also, if we are having this customer that has a manufacturing process and is using SAP Business One standard functionality, we have the issue for production and receipt from production. And one of the most powerful tools from Produmex Scan is the inventory counting and the lookups, because with the inventory counting, we reduce a lot of the effort that we have to do when we are making these inventory countings in our warehouse. Also, these lookups allow me or allow the users to have this option of query the inventory directly on the mobile device. So the user in that moment has the information about all the inventory regarding to the warehouses or bin locations in the case that we are managing SAP Business One bin locations. Also, we have the batch and serial numbers functionality from SAP. We can configure label printing, user-defined fields, and also queries that we can use in the mobile device. Also, we have the support for this kind of the GS1128 barcodes, and we are making the deployment through Microsoft RTP. Okay. Regarding to the license, I am also going to mention in this slide that Produmex Scan needs or use a terminal type license, and the number of required licenses depends on the number of devices that we are using concurrently. So, in what I try to say is that the license for Produmex Scan, we have to calculate this license according to the mobile devices that we are going to use in the warehouses. So also, we need an SAP user that already has a license that is already operating on SAP Business One. So for this matter, we have to go to the SAP official licensing documentation for having more information, because at least we need to work with a logistic license that has this authorization to create the inventory transactions on SAP Business One. So regarding to the SAP Business One license, we only need just the SAP indirect access user per installation. So it's the only SAP license that we need to run Produmex Scan. So let's go to our system, and we are going to perform some of the most common operations that we have in our warehouses. So we already go to purchasing, purchase order, and I have already created a purchase order in here. So in this purchase order, what I like to show you is that we are going to see how we can support this different type of items that we have on SAP. So the first item that I have in here, it's an item that is non-bin managed and non-managed by serial or batch number. The second one is managed by batch number. The third one is managed by units of measure groups, and the fourth it's just to show how we make these goods received when we are having this warehouse managed by bin location in SAP. So let's go to Produmex Scan. So I start in here my client. This is Produmex Scan client. This is the way that the user is going to see the application through a mobile device. So first of all, we already see that we are logging into this company. We have our user and our password. So we also, in this case, if we are going to print labels during the inventory process, I can define printing preference for each user in Produmex Scan. So I log in, and then I can see all the main menu for Produmex Scan. This is all the functionality that is available for Produmex Scan. But it's also important to say to you that we can customize this main menu. We can customize it by user, by authorization, because sometimes or most of the times not all users has or need the access to all the functionality. So we can customize all this menu by user. So there's no problem. There's no issue about it. So I'm going to start with my goods receipt PO, and then I go to this option. And in this moment, I have different filters to look for my document. If I click on reload, I'm going to see all my purchase orders that are opened and that I can make a goods receipt PO from these purchase orders. Also, I can make the goods receipt PO using a reserve invoice. We can support that scenario too. So if I click reload, I'm going to see all my open documents. But in the case that I know, for example, the number of my documents, I can go directly to this field and click on reload. And then I only filter and locate this document. I also can make this lookup for using the supplier, the due date from the document, or even the item. So all these fields are available to make the search of the document that I want to post the goods receipt PO. So I select my document and I click on receive, and then I see all my items that are available to make the goods receipt. In this case, what the user can select, I mean manually you can make the selection. If you see the green line, means that you are selecting this item, or the user can start to scan their items. Sorry about it. That's it. So here I have my scan. I scan my item. So this is my first line. I add the quantity. Okay, and when this line is everything okay and has the needed information, we are going to see this icon over here that is telling us that this line is already captured and it's okay to go with the next line. So then we select the next item. We add the quantity. And this is the item that it's managed by batch. So in this case, it can happen two things. If I have this label with my supplier batch number, I can scan it. Or also we can make this customization and click on new, and the system, we can customize this query, and the system is creating me automatically these batch numbers. So this is very friendly to use. So and also in this case, if I need to print my labels and I have configured my printers on SAP Business One in the Produmex Scan settings, I can print in here, and all my labels are going to be printed in this moment. So, oh, sorry. having click on add, and then I have my second item. So this item is managed by group unit of measure groups. So if I click in here, you can see that these are the unit of measure that are related to this item on SAP Business One. And when I scan it, I am scanning the barcode for the unit of measure by pack. So when I scan this barcode, automatically updates the unit of measure to say to me that I am giving this goods receipt on this item in packs. So then I input the quantity again. And this is missing because this is the one that is entering to the item, that is managed by bin locations. So, sorry, I just pushed the wrong button. So I'm going to continue receiving. But, well, that was a good thing to happen, because you can see that if you are not giving this option of posting, you can return to the purchase order, and your changes, your quantities are being saved. Okay, so then I here click or give my quantity, and there it is. This line is going to enter to a warehouse managed by bin locations. So automatically I have the default bin location that is configured on SAP Business One for this item. I can choose another one in the case that is not going to be received in this bin location. So I add the quantity, and then I click on OK. Ready. So I give on post. I click on the post option, and when I click on post, what is going to happen is that Produmex Scan is going to say to me that a goods receipt PO has been created on SAP Business One. You can see here, successfully posted goods receipt PO. So let's go to SAP. If I update my document, you can see now that the purchase order is closed. And if I execute the relationship map, then I'm going to see the goods receipt PO created by Produmex Scan. Okay. So you see how easy it is to manage these kind of operations, and that we support all these different item types in Business One. So let's go now to the next scenario. So I'm going to show you right now in the case that we have a customer that is using the production functionality, the standard functionality for production on SAP Business One. So here I have a production order. In this moment, this production order is planned. Then I click on release. This is a standard. This is the standard functionality from SAP. So then I go again to Produmex Scan. Okay. And here I have the menu for production. So I select issue. To make the issue for production, I can click on reload, or as I told you for the purchase order, we can filter using these fields. In this case, I only have at this moment this production order. So when I select the document, I click on issue, and then I can start to select the components I need to make this production order. So in a very quick way, we are going to add our components and ready. Okay, so in this moment, I just selected all my components, and I'm going to click on post. And it says successfully posted issue for production number 2. So let's go to SAP. I update my document, and you can see on the production order that in this column we already have the issue quantities, and in the relationship map I have the production order and the issue for production number 2 that was created for Produmex Scan. Let's finish very quickly this example. A very good thing also for production is that the return of the components is also available. So that is happening when I make this issue and I give more material or more components that I really needed for the production order. So I can make the return of these components to my raw material warehouse, for example, from my mobile device. So in this moment, we are going to make the receipt for production. I click on reload, receive, and again, we are adding our finished product, and then we click on post. And what I'm going to get on SAP is going to be a receipt from production on SAP. So let's go to SAP again, relationship map, and then I can see my receipt from production 137 that was created using Produmex Scan. So this is also a powerful tool for those customers that are using a standard functionality for production. Let's see. Okay, also I want to show you how we can manage the inventory transactions from the inventory module. So we go to the inventory transfer request. We support the two scenarios we can create directly from Produmex Scan an inventory transfer, or I can create the inventory transfer based on an inventory transfer request. We are going to make right now the two examples so you can see how the functionality works. So at this moment, I am showing you that I have created an inventory transfer request. This is the document number 2. So I go to Produmex Scan, and then I go to the stock transfers. I click on the option of request. Again, I can reload all my documents, and I select my document and make the transfer. And at this moment, also I can scan my items and start to input the quantities. So in this case, I'm going to make this transfer from warehouse 1 to warehouse 2 for 2 units of this item. I click on done, and then I click post. And I have my stock transfer on SAP. I refresh my document, relationship map, and then I can see my inventory transfer request number 2 and the inventory transfer number 5 created by Produmex Scan. Okay, so then going to show you the making the stock transfer from Produmex Scan. So in this case, I select my warehouse, Then I select my item. I can make the transfer from this, and then I click on transfer. I want to move it to warehouse number 2, 2 units, and that's it. And in many screens in Produmex Scan, you are going to find this option that is called Find Stocks, because if in that moment the user is asking himself to make this movement, but they don't know if they have the inventory in the warehouse from, so the user can click on Find Stocks, and then he knows that in warehouse 1 they have this amount of units, so he has, or the user has, this the enough quantity to make this movement to another warehouses. So in many of the screens in the functionality of Produmex Scan, we are going to find this useful tool to know in that moment if I have the enough inventory to make the transaction. So now everything is okay. Oh. And I click on post. Successfully posted stock transfer number 6. Let's go quickly to Business One and let's see. Inventory transfer. And there it is, my inventory transfer number 6 that I did using Produmex Scan. Okay. So let's finish this cycle and this process, and let's go to the sales. And in the case of the sales, we support also the 2 different scenarios, that we can make the delivery using a sales order, and also a sales order or a reserved invoice. We have the 2 options. And we can make also the picking from the sales order, and make the delivery from the picking list. So in this case, I'm going to show you how we can do it using a sales order. I already have this open sales order with these items. This is the number of the documents. So then we go to deliveries and select sales order. So I'm going to filter by document. So if I click on reload, it's going to take me to this document number. So I click on issue, and again I start to scan my items. Right. So I scan the next. So, for example, in here, it's asking me about this, the batch that I'm going to use for this printer label. So if I click here on stocks, query stocks is going to show me what are the available batches that I have for this item. So I'm going to use this. Okay. Oh, I need to fill out the. I mean, in this moment, I am capturing the information, but it's going to be easier using the mobile device. this is it. So then I selected my items, and then I selected the batch number that I'm going to use, and I'm going to click on done, and then I click on post. Successfully posted deliveries. This is the number, so let's go to SAP. Okay, so we have here my delivery using Produmex Scan. And let's see it on the relationship map sales order, and I have my delivery in here. So I just would like to complement this, saying that purchase, production, and on the delivery, we have the opportunity to post all the document, or make this, just post some items from the document, and while the document is still open, you can make the transaction on Produmex Scan is like SAP Business One standard functionality works. So if in this moment, I am only making the partial delivery for this sales order, and next day I'm going to make the next delivery to close this document. It's completely available in Produmex Scan. Okay, and I'm just going to show you just really quick. When we use a picking list, so I created my sales order, and then this is a standard functionality from SAP. We click on generate pick list, and this is my pick list right now, my pick list number 5. So if I go to Produmex Scan and click on picking and reload, I have my picking list in here. So then what I do is to make the picking. I start to make the picking, and once that I finish making the picking from this list, I just click on deliver, and I create the delivery on SAP Business One as I did with the sales order. So I just wanted to show you the screens when we are dealing with picking functionality, that the customer is using the standard picking functionality from SAP. So also you can see that we can support that operation. So just to finish with this demo for Produmex Scan functionality, I would like to show you the inventory transactions regarding to the inventory counting transactions. For me, this is one of the most powerful tools that Produmex Scan has, because for us, the standard process that we know in SAP is that we have to generate these counting sheets and sometimes start counting manually, and then return to SAP Business One, input the information also in a manually way, or some customers can use data DTW from SAP, but we have to know that acknowledge that this task take more time and resources, and sometimes is causing the warehouse operations are being stopped, and those problems about that we cannot make deliveries or sales. So for me, this is one of the powerful tools, because we can work with Produmex Scan on this inventory counting document. So when I need to make this counting in my warehouse, what I do is that I create my inventory counting, and then go with my mobile device, and using Produmex Scan, I can fill all the information about the counting in this document. So for example, in this moment, I have this inventory counting document. This is inventory counting number 2. And we go to inventory transactions. And then I have two types of counting and quick counting. The difference goes in the way that I need the user to see this counting. I'm going to show you. If I'm going to the counting option and I click on reload, I select my inventory counting document and then I click on count. I select which is the warehouse that I am going to make the count. And then in this moment, if you see, I don't see any items. So the user, what he's going to do in this moment is that he's going to start scanning and giving the quantities for each item. And the list is going to be is going to be generated by the user at the time that is counting the items. So I'm going back in a while to this screen. I want to show you the difference between the quick counting. When I use the quick counting, it's the same process. I select my document and select the warehouse, and then I start to count. But the difference you see right now is that I am looking at all the items and all the inventory that is available in the warehouse. So the user or the customer can choose between the two options. I want to see the items and the quantities that I have in the warehouse, or I prefer to make this counting from scratch, and then the warehouse user is going to make this to report their own counting. So this is the option that is according to the warehouse process or according to the warehouse user. Okay, so then we are going back to the counting option. Again, reload, and we select these count items. I count, and then I start. So, for example, in this moment, I'm going to scan this item, and I'm going to say that I found 1,400 pieces. So then I make this counting. So I tell that I finished. I'm just counting these items, so I can show you how the document is behaving on Business One. Oh, I have this. Sorry, I have another open document. So let me close this. So let's go back. Sorry for that little mistake. And then I go again to Produmex Scan. Great. So here it goes. If you can see, this is my line number 1 with my item and my 1,400 pieces that I count. But then you are looking that in the document, I just had two items, but when we are counting with scan, all these items are going to show, and if you see, if they are showing in red, and it's just like saying to the user on SAP that you have this difference because you didn't count these items on the warehouse, and now it's telling you that you didn't count, or you have zero counting on this. So in this case, Produmex Scan is telling you, okay, this is what you counted, but all the rest of the items are not being counted. So like I was saying, this is a very, very powerful tool, because in the way that using human resources and paperwork, it's going to be so decreased, because the user now is going to be making the counting through the mobile device. And then when all these counts are being checked and authorized, well, with this document, you just copy to your inventory posting, and then you update all your inventory in the selected warehouses. So this is one of the I mean, I like so much this about Produmex Scan because we know that sometimes these countings take so much effort in the customers and in the warehouses. And just to end, I'm going to show you just to finish this functionality. Another very, very good thing is this query, because with this query we can the user can search or can make the lookup for the items and the quantities that are in the inventory for a bin location or for a warehouse. So for example, in this case, I selected my warehouse number 1, and then I reload the information, and the user in this moment can see that for one of these items has the location and has the quantity. So this is also very useful because, like I was saying at the beginning, using Produmex Scan, it doesn't take that the user needs to know about the inventory of a given item, and then has to go to their office or their computers and enter or log in to SAP and then execute the inventory report. So this is really, really useful when you are in a warehouse, and in that moment you need to know this kind of information. So as you can see, well, this is a very nice and friendly product, and I can say it's affordable, and the license, like I told you, is by device. So this is for example, what I'm trying to say by device. The users we created on the employee master data. So I'm going to look for a user right now. So if I have one mobile device and I have 10 users or 5 users in the warehouse that are going to use this mobile device, so in this case, I can have 5 users for Produmex Scan, but only using one license for the mobile device. So it's also very friendly in that way. And like I told you, in this part of the screen, we can see how we can customize the menu for each user. So, and the authorization also. So, well, I think that's the functionality I wanted to show you. Anything that we can help you with, you can contact us. And well, thank you so much for coming to this webinar. Goodbye.